Hello everyone, I am Pravalika from CSCT. Today I am going to explain about differences between C and Python. The C programming is a high-level language and structured programming, where the Python is a high-level language and object-oriented programming. So, if we want to learn any language, so what the best option in both of this? Is the C is the best option or the Python is the best option? We can say the Python is the best option because for learners the Python is the easiest language because in Python we have only small codes, means short length of codes, but in C language we have the codes with a large length. So we have to remember everything, mean braces, semicolons, everything we have to remember. But in Python, everything is there in an English language. So English format language. So how we write the sentences in English language? The same way the Python even considers or the Python even has. The second one is C programming executes faster where the Python executes slower because of dynamic typecasting. So, in C programming, executes faster. Why the Python executes slower? Because in C programming, we will assign a value to a variable and we will also say to the language what the variable means. Means what is the data type it is. So, if it is the integer, we will say it is the integer one. If it is the float, we will say it is the float one. So, but in Python, we does not have any data types. So we does not say to the program this is that data type. So that's the time it takes. So it's executes slower because of dynamic typecasting means it has to know, it has to check. So it has to check whether it is an integer or whether it is a float value. So because of that it takes time. So that's the reason Python executes slower. And the third difference is pointer concept is available in C but is not in Python. And the fourth difference is C language does not have exception handling mechanism where Python provides exception handling mechanism. And the fourth one is fifth difference is C language contains while, for, do while loops but Python contains only while and for loops. So we know the sixth difference is the variable in for loop does not increment automatically in C. The variable in Python increment automatically. So we know in C language we have to say, means we have to say to the programmer to increment the value. So we have to give plus or plus 1 or we have to give minus 1. So then it will increment or else it won't increment. But in Python, we does not say to the program to increment the value. It automatically increments the value. So the seventh difference is C language provides switch statement where the Python language does not provide switch statement. So we know in C language switch statement is very useful because we will have an expression and we will have the cases. If the expression evaluates true value, we will cross check the cases. If the cases is true or if the cases is string, then the statement of block of statements what there in that cases will be evaluated. So in Python we does not have switch statement, but the same thing what we have is else if statement. So if the else if statement even have the same functions as a switch statement. So in else if even we will evaluate the expression. Evaluating the expression, it checks whether any case is true or whether any case is same as the expression's value. So if it is same, then the statements will be evaluated. And the eighth difference is C language provides single and multi-dimensional arrays where Python provides only single dimensional array. And the ninth difference is C language does not contain a garbage collector where Python language provides automatic garbage collector. This is the main difference and this is very useful. So this is the reason why Python is very useful. So because in C language we will assign a value to a variable, so that variable will allocate some value, means some memory allocation. So but Python even allocates a memory allocation, but if the variable which is assigned to a value that is not used in further programming in C, that will be there as it is, so it will not be discarded. So that garbage will be more and more if we use unwanted things, unwanted variables. But in Python language provides automatic garbage collector, means we will assign a value to a variable. If it is not used in further programming, the garbage means the memory allocation what is allocated will be discarded. This is a main useful thing what is there in Python. And the 10th difference is a semicolon is used to terminate the statements in C, and comma is used to separate expressions, because in C we will have the semicolon to terminate the statements. Mean we will write the code. So if we want to go to the next line, so we have to terminate every line with the semicolon. So and the comma is used to separate the expressions in C. And in Python, new line indicates the end of the statement. So we will write all the code in a line. So when we are going to next line, that is the end of the world line. And semicolon is used as an expression separator. And the 11th difference is indentation statements is not necessary in C. Indentation is required to represent a block of statements. What is indentation? We does not have indentation in C because we have the concept of braces in C. So open brace and closed brace will be as the statement of blocks. So the open brace and closed brace, how many statements the braces contain, the statements will be evaluated. But in Python, indentation is required, because if we want to do something, or if we want to do something to a block of statements, we have to follow indentation. Means we have to write the statements, we have to write this. So if we want to evaluate 5 statements, the 5 statements should be evaluated once. Then we have to follow indentation, means same gap or same comma or same spaces we have to give. That is the indentation. So these are the main differences between C and Python language. Thank you.